Hi everyone and welcome to Season 3, Episode 2 of From Hope to Glory at Truro City with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So we're very early in the season still, towards the end of the first month of games, and it's been pretty good, to be honest. Not perfect. We have dropped some points here and there, but for where we were supposed to be at the beginning of this season, I think we're doing very well. Today we play Hartlepool, who find themselves in 7th. Going to be a tricky game, but one I hope that we can compete well in and prove that we deserve to be in the Tier 5 of English football. So let's get into the episode. So here we are straight away looking at the recent results that we've had, and it's been very good really. We have dropped some points. We started off with that 5-3 win against Halifax in the first game of the season that we played last episode. We went on from there to beat Barnet 3-1, and you can see a pattern developing that pretty much all of our attacking players have already got on the score sheet so far this season. Salam, Knowles on the right, Harvey in that attacking midfield role, Charlie Ball and Andrew Neil, both central strikers, rotating between the central striking position. They've all got goals so far. We're scoring a fair few, to be honest, but occasionally we are letting them in as well. We got to that 2-2 draw against Leyton Orient. Decent side in this division though, Leyton Orient. And I don't think it was a bad result, really, away from home. But then, unfortunately, we came up against our first actual bad result of the season so far. And it was against Ebbsfleet, away from home again. And it was just one of those games where, you know, sometimes where you go into a new division, you're not quite sure where you fit. Occasionally, you show up to a game, you set out in the way you think that you normally do. Everything's the same. And then absolutely nothing works at all. We were absolutely decimated by Ebbsfleet, to be honest, in terms of the way that we played, in terms of the way that they finished their chances really well. You can see that in the end they came away with a 3-0 win, and it was Sam Bellis who got all 3 goals for them in the 19th, 55th and 90th minute. So quite a late one for a 3-0 win. But in the end, they were really deserving of it. We didn't play particularly well at all. And occasionally, I think we're going to have moments like that. It's going to be a little inconsistent. But so far, 5 games in, 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. I'm really happy with it. And I think it puts us in a really good position early in the season just to lift our expectations slightly and see where we can finish as this season progresses. But at the moment, it's going very well. Today, though, 7th place Hartlepool. If we go in to have a look at the league table itself, you can see them there in 7th place. After 5 games, they got 9 points. After 5 games, we've got 10 points in 4th place. So very little to tell between lots of teams at the moment this early in the season. But so far, so good. Can we get the points today, though? That's a key thing to keep this momentum going. Or are we going to find, a bit like Ebbsfleet, who sit in 6th position, that Hartlepool may just give us a bit of a thumping? Who knows? Let's go and find out. So we have 2 injury issues today. Still, Hammond is out. He has come back from his original injury and played a game or 2 for us, but didn't look particularly great doing it, if I'm totally honest. But he's out injured again, and he's out for the next couple of weeks. So it means that Roberts in goal will continue that position for us. And the other one is Chanel, who's out for a couple of weeks as well. One of our central defensive options. Not the end of the world. We've got 3 other very decent ones. So that's okay. Everybody else is fit. Not everybody has played just yet. We haven't found that perfect moment to rotate them in, but there's a cup game coming up next match, so it will likely be that all of these players will play in the cup, just because we have to continue to focus on the league really as much as is possible. And we have been rotating Neil and Ball in that striking position. You can see though that they've both been playing very well and getting the goals. Andrew Neil holds that position today. And we do have one player today that I want to introduce you to. We know from last episode episode that we made quite a few transfers in the summer. I didn't introduce you to them all at the one time. We've introduced most of the starting lineup, if not all of them, to you. But we've now got Mo Silla, and Mo Silla is coming into play as a rotation option in the Carrilero role. Early has currently got it in terms of the shirt, but this guy I think has got a lot about him, and I think by not too long from now, and definitely by the end of the season, this guy will probably take that role. I think there's a better passing and tackling player in here, lots of determination and good decision making. Vision and work rate are both very good physicals. If we can compare him specifically to Early, let's go and find Early. Where is he? Oh, there he is. And you can see that in terms of Early being in the pink and Silla being in the blue, it suggests that Early is a more rounded player. When we go and have a look at the attributes, though, specifically, I think they're pretty well matched physically. I think that where Early has it is in the mental stats a little bit, but some of the key ones, like determination, are really strong for Silla. But then Mo Silla in the actual role itself, the technical abilities for the Carrilero, I think he just shades it by a couple of points here and there in key positions again. So in key attributes, should I say. So at the moment, Early holds the shirt, but Mo Silla might come into his own as the season progresses, and today he finds himself on the bench. So that's the one that I want to introduce you to. I think you've been introduced to everybody else involved in the first team squad today. So for the match against Hartlepool, we keep the same shape and style, etc. And we have Roberts in goal, Morgan at right back, Richards at left back, Kazoo and Doyle in central defence, Early, Mundle and Harvey in central midfield, Knowles on the right, Salam on the left, and Neil up top, with a bench of Stavrou, Jones, Silla, Duke McKenna and Ball. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. It feels a little bit today that I'm not quite sure what the expectation on this match is particularly. I think we're in good form, but I don't want to put the pressure on the players. So I'm actually going to leave the team talk blank at the beginning of the game and just let them go out there with no massive instruction or pressure on them. And we'll see how the game pans out in the first half. And we can always come back in at half time and then try and change what's going on or continue the move forward, whichever route we need to take. A good win for we nearly won the ball, should I say, in central midfield, but we didn't quite manage it. We lost it again, and then the through ball goes too long, and Roberts comes out and claims it very nicely. Goes very long, very quickly to Neil in that right wing position. Neil has to come out wide to get it, and he does, and he puts it on a sixpence for Salam, and Salam messes up his lines a little bit. He gets on the header at that far post, but skies the header when it would almost look as though it was easier to get it on target. But there we go. At least we've had a couple of sighters at goal. You can see we've had the early shots. 5 shots at goal, 1 on target, 1 and 0 for Hartlepool. So we are definitely in this game at this point, and possession stats are high in our favour as well. So the first half is absolutely storming by. We're at 36 minutes, but we are doing pretty well in it, whilst having not found the breakthrough just at the moment. It looks like we're going to go in at half-time 0-0, but there is one last highlight to come. Morgan with the long throw, and the keeper chooses to punch it. Harvey on the edge of the box powers the shot back in low along the floor, and then misses the goal by inches. A couple of really good sighters there. But as I say, at half-time we are 0-0, and we didn't quite manage to really trouble the goalkeeper. One effort over the top of the bar, one effort down the side of the post, and it was a little unfortunate really. But I'm kind of G'd up a little bit by it. I think it's a good enough performance so far. You can see that I'd like the passing completion a little bit higher if I can, but 55% possession is good, and we have had the majority of the shots at goal. So now we can go into the game, into the dressing room with a clear idea of where we are in this particular match. And let's just go with what the assistant suggests here. We're going to outstretch the arm. No, we're going to pump the fist. That's the one. And we're going to say we've been the better team here. Just keep doing what you're doing and we'll be fine. And let's hope that that's the case. As soon as we do go into the second half, we're going into the shouts to just fire them up a little bit and push them forward. And I think sooner or later we might move into a positive outlook rather than the balanced approach we've been doing so far. The game seems to be there for us for the taking. Hartlepool have come back into it in the second half in terms of the actual statistics of the match. But so far, this is the first highlight and it's Knowles steaming down that right-hand side. But he was too wide, really, for the shot that he took on. He didn't find a way to pull it back for Neil. In the end, the shot again went over the top. And we're not quite making the most of the chances that we create. And there's a slightly wayward goal kick for Roberts from us, but in the end we win it back through a dodgy ball through, and it ball goes straight over the top for Neil from our defensive area, and Neil again puts it on target this time, but it's too close to the goalkeeper and he parries it for a corner, which comes into the 6-yard box and they get it partially cleared. It looks like Harvey might get there first. He didn't quite manage it, but the highlight goes at that point. We're at 69 minutes. I am going to pause the game here just to think about some personnel changes. We are doing really well in a lot of ways, and I don't want to mess up the fact that we're getting a good draw so far. But I feel like the game might be there for us to take a little bit of a chance on. So what have we got? We've got some slightly weak defensive ratings and a couple in midfield as well. So there are things that we can improve on here. So we're going to take Salam out and put Duke McKenna down that left-hand side. We are going to take off one of these central midfielders, should I say. And it is going to be early. So Mo Silla comes into that Carolero role. And then I am going to make a change at the back as well, and we're going to take Morgan out and put Jones in. Now again, we've talked about the fullbacks last episode. I'm not sure we've got the best fullbacks we could possibly have. It's very hard to find good ones at this level, and so far still that right side is struggling a little bit to get any form of good ratings out of the right fullback on a lot of occasions. There was one game I think where Morgan did pretty well. Other than that, it's been a little bit disappointing. But we can see that we're drifting through again, pausing the game at 85 minutes just to give myself a little bit of space to do that. All I wanted to do was go into the shouts and demand more from them for the last few minutes of the game. And we are going to go very attacking for the last couple of minutes just to see if we can get one highlight. And this is the chance. And it is from a throw-in down that right-hand side. Knowles on the ball, sends it over the top to Neil, through on goal, and the goalkeeper again tips it away for the defender to then boot it clear. And it's gone out for a throw-in down this left-hand side, but that might just be it. It's not. There's one chance maybe for Hartlepool, and they mess it up. The free kick that they had went straight over the top into the penalty area, but the goalkeeper had no problems claiming it. Sends a good ball forward. Silla on the ball from Duke McKenna, and did he? Yeah, I knew he had. I thought I saw him move too early, and it's disallowed in the 91st minute. We have a goal disallowed, rightly so, for offside. You'll see it here that eventually the free kick from the goalkeeper, from their goalkeeper, goes long, and we win the ball. Oh no, it's not. This is not the highlight repeating itself, is it? This is match play, and it's again down the right hand side for us, the last highlight potentially of the game, and it's Jones who gets slightly stopped at that point, but we've got a good chance for one last long throw. We know it can cause havoc in the box if we get it right, and it's Jones' opportunity. There it launches high and long. The goalkeeper comes and parries it onto the edge of the box, and again we send a shot over the top of the bar. And this is the chance for Duke McKenna, and you could see that he did just go slightly too early. And in the end, we get a 0-0 draw against Hartlepool at home. Is that a little bit disappointing? I'm not 100% sure. Let's analyse the performance a little bit and see whether we can come to a conclusion. So I think the statistics might back up the thought that this was a little bit disappointing, but only in the sense that we came up against a very good side and we didn't lose, and that's fine in itself. In this early part of the season, we're still finding our feet. But the statistics for the match do have it in our favour. You can see we had 16 shots at goal, 6 on target. Could have done a better job at putting more on target. They had 9 and 5, but our XG rating, our expected goals, was 1.25, and theirs was only 0.59. You can see that in theory we should have got that one goal from our expected goals rating, and it didn't quite materialise. Good amount of corner kicks. We got a reasonable passing completion rate. I'm still wanting that to go a little bit higher if possible. The possession, they came back into the game late on a bit because we were quite high in possession for a lot of the match, but in the end it was basically 50-50 and fairly even. We did have that one goal disallowed by an offside decision, which was right, but still just unfortunate, wasn't it, really? So let's go into the data a little bit more. You can see our spread of shots at goal, our 16 or whatever it was that we had. There's a lot sitting on this slight left-hand side of the penalty box, just around the penalty spot. There's a couple of good attempts there, and you can see that the most problem that we had was that these X's show that they were off target, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 shots, 7 or 8 off target, and from quite close in a few of them. And that's the little bit of a disappointment today, that maybe we didn't quite make the most of the chances that we created. I'm not even sure there's a maybe about it. We definitely didn't make the most of them. In terms of the average positions, I'm aware that it's sitting behind where I am on the screen, but basically if we look at Hartlepool's, the actual defensive line is fairly similar in terms of where ours was. I think our number 9 Neil got slightly isolated. Maybe we need to drop him slightly in just to get more involved in the play and move us incrementally up the pitch. Maybe something to think about. But other than that, the shape is fairly decent. We had a lot of decent possession in central midfield. Callum Doyle with an 8.1 average rating for today is the best performer, and he continues to do really well for us. If we go and have a look at his stats so far, he's played 5, got 1 goal, and has got a 7.24 average rating. So he is absolutely the superstar that I hoped he would be so far. It's going very well for him and for us because of it. If we look in more specifically in terms of the shots that we created, we had 12 shots off target in the game, and if we focus on ours, 8 of them came from us, and that's not quite good enough. We had 6 that were saved, a couple from long distance, but again a couple from quite wide angles, both on both sides, and a lot from Neil today, unfortunately. And then we had 2 blocked from just on the edge of the box as well. If we come out of the shots and go into the passing and just look at the completed one, because it just makes me giggle. But if we look at the intercepted passes, I think this isn't too bad actually. There's a lot of clearing of lines going on here, which is fine for them to be intercepted, but only a couple either side that I would really be that bothered about the fact that they didn't quite make their target. No blocked passes. Unsuccessful ones, again, lots of clearing the lines from this sort of third of the pitch I'm not bothered about. And then we always have quite a lot down the sides from those long throw-ins that don't quite work out very often, but there's always that chance that once a game it might, and it didn't quite today, but it's still worth putting them in there, I would say. Only 3 passes that went out of play. Now, quite who Mundell was passing to here, I don't really know, and quite similarly for Harvey there, but that's not too bad, is it? I can cope with that. And we did have 8 key passes. A couple of corner kicks came into that near post, and we can often get the likes of Doyle onto that near post to get a header in at goal, etc., or Kazoo, whichever one is positioned on that near post. And today it didn't quite work out, but you can see that we are doing a good job of putting the balls in good areas. And then we did create 2 key chances from long balls, one from Mo Silla from the sort of centre circle, and then one out wide right here from Neil getting the ball in. And overall, I think it was a decent performance, to be honest. We just didn't quite put the shots away, and that was the biggest issue that we had this game. Did we make any mistakes at all? We didn't, which is good to see. Let's go and look at one other thing, and we'll give a shine a light on the goalkeeper as well. Robert's come in for this particular season, this campaign on loan, I think from Derby, if I remember rightly. And you can see that he held 4 shots from very, very close in at the 6-yard box. So he performed well in that aspect and tipped one over the bar as well. So in a 0-0 draw, it's easy to look at the fact that we didn't quite put our chances away, which we didn't. But it is also good to see that defensively we kept our shape, we kept our discipline, and between the good central defensive performance from Doyle and a couple of key saves from Roberts, it enabled us to get a 0-0 draw. So we've got one more job to do before we end this particular episode, and that is to figure out what we're coming back for next episode. And this is the point in the season where for the last couple of seasons we've caused ourselves all sorts of issues with so many cup games. But we are down a cup competition this season. We're not involved in the lower southern thingamy cup of the thing and the builder base vase thing or whatever it was. I can't remember. Anyway, we're not in it this year. We're only in the FA Trophy and the FA Cup. I'm hoping that we'll get through both of these games coming up soon against Woking in the Trophy and Atherstone in the FA Cup, because we need to get through to that first round proper in the FA Cup if possible. So what we're going to come back for at the end of November is the game against Chesterfield. But that might change if there's a rescheduling because of cup games that happen in and around it. So you'll have to come back next episode and figure out with me exactly where we're playing. But I suspect it might be somewhere like Chesterfield, away from home in the Vanarama National League. That is potentially the plan. But that's going to do it for today. We find ourselves still in 4th position, which is really fantastic. It was a decent performance, I think, against a very tricky Hartlepool side. We just had 1 or 2 chances that we didn't quite take, and then the 3 points would have been potentially ours. But anyway, we'll go with a point for now. We'll have to do with that, and that's absolutely fine. So join me for next episode, where hopefully we'll play another league match, but it might be a cup game, who knows. Until then, thank you for joining me today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Join my United City community. The more the merrier. There's lots of ways to do that through Twitter and Discord and Patreon and merchandise store. All the links in the description below. Check out my Discord every day from 11 till 12 in 11 a.m. till 12 p.m. Every weekday for the next few weeks. I'm going to be in the voice chat of my Discord, just there for anybody that's finding isolation a little bit too much at the moment because of lockdowns and stuff, and you just want to come and have a chat for 10 minutes. Come and drop by. I'll be there every weekday from 11 till 12 in my Discord voice chat. So come and join the Discord and get involved in that wider community as well. But that's all the plugging I've got. Click the like button on this particular episode for me. That helps me grow the channel, get seen by lots of other people. Until next time though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.